Here we go again. The corrupt control freaks at the European Union continue to be desperate. They are expanding their operation in order to create a United States of Europe. Yes, as of today, Ukraine and Moldova have officially started the accession negotiations. The opening ceremony, holding the flag, the fake flag of the European Union. The whole thing is nonsensical. It's a stupid idea. It creates dependency. First things first, Ukraine and Moldova will not be net contributors. They will have to basically become leeches on Germany and France. That's one issue, if I have to be sad on behalf of the French and the Germans, but that's not the main problem. It's also bad for the progress of these countries because at first they said the European project is supposed to be a level playing field. So all the countries that are civilized and democratic and respect the rule of law, they can join. But then they started basically giving membership to every country regardless of corruption. You can see the problems in Moldova, you can see the problems in Ukraine, they don't really mind. Now that's one issue. It's also bad for Ukraine, it's also bad for Moldova because they will be losing their sovereignty and their own self-determination. Trade with these countries, cooperate, that's absolutely fine. Have neighbors, have partners. Do not surrender to a globalist, protectionist, isolationist group. This is stupid. There's a reason that the European Union as an economic zone is weaker than any other economic zone because it's not really an economic zone. It's a political zone. That's why it's closed its doors to other countries. The whole point of, for example, NAFTA with Canada, Mexico, US, or any other trade partnership is that those individual countries and members can still sign free trade deals with other countries and they can still look after their own industries and their own sectors. But when you're part of the European Union, you can no longer decide for yourself. Ukraine or Moldova will not be able to, hypothetically, trade with India freely if they wanted to. I mean, just any example, really. They will have to surrender their security rights and everything else. Now, Ursula von der Leyen is extremely excited because she is expanding her empire by tricking yet 2 more countries to join. Let's go to von der Leyen.
It is very good news that today the European Union opens accession negotiations with Ukraine and Moldova. We stand at the threshold of a significant and transformative moment for these 2 countries and for our Union. And we celebrate the values and principles that bind us together. The European Union has always been more than a political and economic union. It is a testament to our collective aspiration for peace, for security, for democracy, and for prosperity. The people of Ukraine and Moldova have demonstrated their unwavering commitment and determination to be part of this project. Even in a time of war and turmoil, they have started extensive reforms. They know that their journey will be rigorous and demanding.
Ah, interesting. So they've only just started to reform to stop the corruption, right? And have actual elections. This is coming from a woman who hasn't actually been elected by anybody. Now, the European Union claims to be democratic, in favor of democracy. They don't actually elect their leaders. They don't have a real parliament that creates legislation. The legislations come from the European Commission, which is basically Ursula von der Leyen, and approved by the European Council, and then they force it on the European Parliament. The European Union and Ursula von der Leyen say they are in favor of prosperity and trade. They don't allow the member states to trade freely with other countries. And they don't have a good track record of economic growth inside the Eurozone. Ursula von der Leyen and the European Union claim to be in favor of security. They can't even get their own act together. They don't even know if they're pro-NATO or anti-NATO. They've been trying to do this EU army for the past few years and everybody's kicking off. They talk about unity and friendliness. All the countries are so divided right now. The Germans hate the Greeks hate them. You got the Portuguese having a fight with the Italians. Everybody's kicking off and then they're going against Poland and Hungary just because they want to be sovereign countries. There is no unity, there is no prosperity, there is no security, and there is definitely no democracy, let alone actual fair and free trade with external countries. The whole thing is a mess and it's a front for corruption.